He didn't look dangerous. I'm Shooey, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Love has practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Welcome, everyone, to John Edward Robinson Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. See, it does. Oh, it does always work. All right. Now, Robinson was a truly horrible man. He was a serial killer, BDSM master, but he was also a family man, dad of four, Little League coach. He was also a confidence man. And to reuse a joke from part one, a jerk of all trades. But before we get back to him, I'm here with fellow Graco Mells and our master, Acadia. So what's new with you all this week?
Oh, God, please don't ever refer to Acadia as that again.
It's too late. It's on tape.
Oh, my word. Give me a break.
There's a new intro to the show.
Oh,
It doesn't matter if it's not true, Mells. He already thinks it.
That's true. That's true. Well, I have to say, I got another week down of being healthy and no corona. So that's my new and good for this week. Might seem simple, but it is very important to me.
No, that is very important.
That is very important.
Mine is that I got offered a job.
Yoo-hoo!
So hooray!
Yay.
So as long as I can hire somebody to pee for me because of my rampant drug use, and I use a fake social security number so that my many convictions won't show up on the background check, I will have a job.
Thoughts and prayers go out to you, okay?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can stick it to the man and fool them all. I actually was. Honestly, I kind of was when I was reading through the paperwork and everything like that, and it said convictions, and I was like, whew. Technically, a warrant is not a conviction, so good.
No. And those things that say if you don't do anything for 6 months, it gets expunged. Those don't count either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
You know what my warrant was
then.
from, Shooey?
What?
All my traffic problems with you.
It's not
Laugh
like
it up.
that. You can't drive and not hold your phone.
You know what? You should have been driving. I don't know what I was driving for.
I don't know why you were driving either.
God damn it.
Oh,
All right.
You too.
Well, my thing for this week is that this is the week I'm heading down to Charlotte to see Acadia.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Ack. I'm going with my missus. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Yep.
And I want to send out some prayers to Nick Saban, head coach of Alabama football, who was diagnosed with COVID today.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Now I feel kind of crappy for saying my new and good is that I've been healthy.
Why?
You're allowed to be healthy.
I know,
Don't
but
feel bad. You didn't give it to him.
No, I know. I don't know. I hate hearing, people getting diagnosed with this shit. I'm sick
For
of
fuck's
it.
sake, 50,000 people get it every day, so you must
I
feel like
know.
shit all the time.
I do. God.
Jesus.
It's not just Mr. Saban. I mean, my thoughts are with everyone who's had to deal with this bullshit.
It's shit.
Shooey's making me go outside.
I am.
Eat at a restaurant. If I get the Rona, I'll be dead for sure.
Well, you wear a complete face mask, so
Yeah,
a head mask and
Exactly.
everything.
My pre-existing
And I told him we'd be mask buddies. So if anybody gave us the looks or anything, we'd defend them.
Yeah.
Oh no! Fuck! The most likely way I'm going to die is in a shootout with some hick where I don't have a gun.
take your American flag mask and shove it up.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
All right. So what do we got? A killer?
Hold on a second. So
Raven.
before we get neck deep in the rest of Robinson's nefarious deeds, let's recap what's happened so far. And since Robinson's had 2 primary jobs, one conning and one killing, we'll have Mells recap the conning and Acadia will recap the killing. Me, I'm going to give you some basic info on Robinson before we hear from them. We got that Robinson was raised by a drunk dad and disciplinarian mom. He developed a smooth-talking ways as a tool to keep himself from getting spankings. And at this point in the story, Robinson is still married, has 4 kids. Publicly, he's an elder at the church, soccer ref, doting father. In reality, he's a heartless monster who could not care less about anyone. Mells, tell us about his conning, please.
Well, Shooey, there's plenty to choose from, but here are just a few of the lowlights. See what I did there? All right. So he conned his friend out of $25,000 by getting him to invest in a fake hydroponics company. And if you don't remember from last time, the friend's wife was dying of cancer at the time. So that's that.
Good doll.
He created a phony...
I don't know if I have any friends that have $25,000 to give away like that.
I don't.
And this
true.
was what, like
I
1970s $25,000? That's a lot of fucking cheddar.
Like the 70s and 80s. Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, but this friend had been saving all that money to try to treat his dying wife, right?
Well,
but he was probably gonna. I mean, it sucks, yes, but he was probably saving for like a trip to Lourdes to use the sacred water or some shit like that. Because if he said, "Oh yeah, hydroponics, that's a better idea," then his first idea had to have been really shitty. Exactly.
That's terrible. Yes. All right. He created a phony organization to help young women in need. It was actually just a front to try to acquire babies that he could sell. So...
I don't care what anyone says. That's stuff and funny.
Zinger number 2 for this guy.
Oh, my God.
Only this guy. And as his pièce de résistance...
Very good.
His masterpiece, his magnum opus... There was the 1977 Kansas Man of the Year. Oh, shit.
That was fine. Nobody would know the difference.
No, there's no such thing as a Kansas man.
Well,
no,
exactly. I'm going to start it there.
Kansas City in the first half.
Look, it's Kansas Man.
Okay. All right. You said it was P.S.?
Like PH.
You can say like, piece de resistance.
You can say peace. That's fine.
Okay. And
you're an American.
Shut up. All right. And as his piece de resistance, his masterpiece, his magnum opus, there was the 1977 Kansas City Man of the Year Award. Robinson used stolen stationery to make city leaders think invitations were coming from the mayor for a Man of the Year presentation. The mayor of Kansas City, a state senator, and other city leaders and the press all came to see Robinson give himself the award. God, this guy, I'm telling you, it's like Catch Me If You Can.
And every honored guest got a free baby.
Oh, God. And a pamphlet on hydroponics.
You've gotten some shares in one of my many companies.
Jeez.
Like a timeshare presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, Acadia, you do your part now.
All right. So far, we know about 3 cases and 4 missing persons. 27-year-old Catherine Clampett, and 19-year-olds Lisa Stasi and Paula Gaudry, and finally, Lisa's little daughter, who was 4 months old at the time she disappeared. There's similarities to all the cases, and all the women could be tied to John Robinson. But there isn't much the police can do, because other than the baby, they were all legal adults, and I don't think a 4-month-old can run away.
Not technically.
No.
They are allowed, but like, adults are allowed to do whatever they want, so they're allowed to go away without telling anybody where they went.
Yep.
And the families of the women all received typed letters signed by their loved ones, which is the fucking stupid. In all cases, the letters raise flags. You think why the letters are signed? They are also typed. No, wait. Why are the letters signed? Why the letters are signed? They are all. Is that supposed to be while?
Yeah, it is supposed to be.
Jesus
wild.
Christ! I said it wrong fucking 19 times. Fucking! I just kept trying to make it make sense.
I'm like, why doesn't it make sense
on different words?
I'm like, why doesn't it sound right? I don't get why it doesn't sound right.
While the letters are signed, they're also typed. Why would you type a letter to your mother? They also don't sound like the women.
Oh, that is some great typing right there. Sounds like Acadia on the regular.
Christ, I thought you threw an octopus down the stairs. I didn't know what that noise was.
Typing on my work computer.
Oh, well, don't, because you're not on the clock.
He's like that meme with that cat typing on the computer.
So the letters didn't sound like they were all like super stiff and like, I am fine. I am definitely not murdered. Don't worry about me. Sincerely, your daughter. It's awful. So, since this was the 80s and 90s, everything was still on paper, so the 3 detectives assigned to each of the 3 cases didn't know about the others, so no connections were made. And that's where we are.
All right. So a bunch of time passes now, and nothing else involving Robinson emerges with the police. And this must have been like around the time that he was being, Mr. Dad, Scoutmaster, and all that stuff. I guess he was able to, I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say with the sentence.
You're saying this must have been when he was busy, but he was able to keep his nefarious shit secret.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right.
No, it makes sense to me.
I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave that thing out. One thing he was doing though was using the internet. He was using it for his scams, obviously. He was also frequenting BDSM chat rooms. Mells, what's BDSM again?
You were called babysitters again. Okay. Bondage, discipline, dominance and submission, sadomasochism.
Woo, yeah.
Woo, nailed it.
I just want to point out that the way you have that's BDDSS.
I know. I don't understand. Shut up.
I think it's bondage, discipline, and sadomasochism. I think it's bondage, discipline, and sadomasochism. I don't think the dominance and submission. I think that's like an after effect.
Why didn't you bring this up last week?
Yeah, we said it that way last week.
Because it took me a week to think through it.
Ugh.
It doesn't matter.
Oh. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
It matters to me because you said I was the master.
Jesus Christ. Good Lord. Don't ever do this again, Shooey.
Oh, no, there's no take back.
This may be the last time I do anything ever. Okay. All right, so he's in these chat rooms looking for BDSM partners and other participants in his lifestyle. It was his use of the internet that had some people calling him the internet's first serial killer. Now, like we said, Robinson liked to refer to himself as a master with all of his BDSM stuff, but from what I understand, true masters don't refer to themselves as masters. I guess it's kind of like our president calling himself a stable genius.
Zing!
But let's jump forward now to March of 2000. We had just successfully defeated Y2K. Gen Z
Chris
is
Jericho?
starting to be worn.
Oh, no, that's Y2J. Never mind.
Like
Y2J.
That's right. Chris Jericho, baby.
Oh, God.
Chris Jericho.
It's been so long
AEW,
since I heard that name.
You know, I am internet friends with the guy that runs his website. He's a super
really?
nice guy. Shout out to Jimmy Ryder,
All
who
right.
used to run a site called the DDT, which was a wrestling message board and column site, which is where I made a bunch of my original internet friends.
Oh,
Wow.
internet friends.
Aww.
And I'm still friends with some of them, and some of them died.
Yeah. Have any of them gone outside since you've known them?
Plenty. Thank you very much.
Stupid.
All right. So again, we're back in March of 2000, and John Edward Robinson has apparently found another victim. The police received a call about a missing woman named Suzette Troughton. Suzette was also 27, like one of the women we previously talked about. And I forgot which one, so I can't say.
Just like
I love it. Just
So
like
she
those
moves-
other ones.
Yeah, 27, like Kurt Cobain. And,
That's what I was thinking. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse.
So she moved to Kansas for a new job. And like some of the other women we've also talked about, wasn't heard from again. So Robinson meets Troughton in a BDSM chat room where she identifies as a slave, which attracts Robinson, who, like we said, likes to think of himself as a master. He tries to convince her to move to Kansas City to take care of his ailing father and on the side to be his slave.
So she's got to do in-home health care plus BDSM?
Exactly. So she's got 2 full-time jobs.
No way.
He has her visit him a bunch of times in Kansas City, and he does like the whole I'm an important rich guy thing. Like he pulls up in a limo to pick her up from the airport, to go out to nice restaurants and all this other shit. I kind of imagine him being like Uncle Pennybags. Do you remember who Uncle Pennybags is?
That the Monopoly guy?
I actually know who this is. That's the Monopoly guy. Yeah.
That is the Monopoly guy.
And it's because I played a sickening amount of Monopoly growing up. Like, I'm talking hours upon hours, and I could have done it every day of the week in Monopoly. All I wanted to do was own Boardwalk. And in my entire life on this planet, I've never owned Boardwalk. So I'm a failure.
Did you know that game was designed to teach the evils of capitalism? Because at the end of it, your goal is it's like super boring and you're just waiting for the last poor person to like just be destroyed, and then there's one person that has all the money.
Well, call me Miss Capitalist, because I was trying to be that.
Exactly. Except it trains you to want to be that one guy. It doesn't train you to hate it.
But how many games of Monopoly has anyone actually finished?
Oh, I don't think
totally finished.
I don't think I've ever actually totally finished.
Right.
I honestly can't.
Because all the poor people get fucking sick of it and they revolt and they throw the board away.
Exactly.
That's what the game teaches you, is that eventually we're going to eat Jeff Bezos.
Uncle Pennybags would go flying through the air every time.
Exactly.
And his little Scottish Terrier.
And his race car. And his giant thimble.
And his fucking iron for whatever reason.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, he had to look good.
So to let me finish my joke.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm just kidding. So Rich Uncle Pennybags was Mr. Monopoly. He became Mr. Monopoly in 1999 when it was apparently decided that the most creative name for a male character that they could use was Mr. Insert Name of Game here. Seriously, is the guy getting operated on Mr. Operation?
Oh, and his wishbone. Well, that's kind of crazy though, because like, what is it, Mr. Sorry? Is it Mr. Shoots and Ladders?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I think we can all agree I'm Mr. Sorry.
Yes, that's true. That bazinga, that's so true.
All right. So the problem with getting back to the story. So the problem with this job that Robinson was offering this poor young girl is that his father had been dead for years.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah. So,
Well, she was terrible at taking care of him.
Yeah, she probably didn't last all that long when she showed up, since there was no dad to take care of.
Yeah, but this wasn't a Norman Bates situation, was it? Like, he wasn't like in a wheelchair in the basement, right?
No.
Hold on.
That would be funny.
Where was the wife? Where did he bring her? Did he bring her to the fake office? Like, where did she go? Where is he doing all this? Because you can't even have a fucking bed. If you've got 4 kids, you don't have any time to do all this shit. Like, how do you find a slave and then bring her to a empty bed and go, shit, my father got away. I guess you don't have to take care of him anymore. He's feeling better.
He escaped.
Well, what he probably did was say, oh, well, the other person that you're replacing isn't there yet, is still there, and had her stay up in a hotel for a few days or something like that. Because remember, all these women he took them to hotels before he got rid of them.
That's so crazy.
You know what just occurred to me? I bet 80% of the affairs that were going on pre-COVID have all been fucked up because of COVID.
Well, yeah.
So this is going to be like the best thing for reconciling marriages that there's ever been.
Unless, which happened in my family.
Oh, no.
A member of my family came home, I guess, one day and said, I've had a girlfriend for a year or 2 years, I can't remember. And I want to break up after like 40 years of marriage almost.
Oh, my God. During COVID?
Yeah, that's where I think it could go the other way. Whereas people are so pissed that they can't get to the other person that they actually cut out and leave their spouse.
Well, that's possible. Or they invent a new hyper kind of sexting called super sexting.
What in the world?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Super sexting?
Yes, it would. I don't know how it would be
involve
implemented.
Some sort of virtual reality and a fleshlight.
No, there's a lot of gifts. Maybe some Bluetooth. I don't know.
Some Bluetooth.
You said a lot of gifts.
It'll be in the cloud. It'll be in the cloud.
Yes. It'll be in the cloud. AWS.
It'll stream through the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back again to the story. We have been really good at staying on point tonight. Suzette's mother became suspicious when she started receiving emails that didn't sound like her daughter. This doesn't sound too familiar.
Well, he's upgraded to emails now.
Yes, he stayed with the times. He knew.
He knew.
Yeah, but he's still
all the time.
He had a little scan of her signature at the bottom of it.
He used DocuSign.
Yes.
DocuSign.
Everything was DocuSign.
Initial here, please.
Oh, Jesus.
So Suzette's mom is sure Robinson has something to do with it. So she calls him and asks him if he'd seen Suzette. He claims she never even took the job, but instead ran off with some guy. Maybe it was Bill, the guy that Lisa Stasi ran away with.
Oh,
yeah, Big
Bill.
Dick Bill. Everybody
loves Big Bill.
BDB, baby.
So he says they went off on a boating adventure.
Oh, no.
Straight out of Kansas City.
Who? Her and Big Dick Bill?
Yeah. Well, Suzette and this mysterious man that she was running off with, they were going off on a boating adventure so she wouldn't be able to be contacted.
Oh,
He
God.
even tries to talk her out of calling the police. Problem for him was, though, she had already called the police and they were recording this conversation.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so you don't want to call the cops because Big Dick Bill, he's got some outstanding warrants. He got
was using his phone while he was driving.
Yes, he was using his phone while he was driving. Also, he got in a fight at a truck stop, and it didn't go good. Just let him alone.
Leave him be.
Meanwhile, you hear the cops going,
This guy's crazy.
All right, so we've had emails, we had a talk with Robinson and the boating adventure, and now the letters start coming. They get letters, birthday cards.
Oh.
The family knows something's up, and again, it's this whole, it doesn't sound like my loved one. It sounds like somebody else. One of the things I find amazing is that Robinson's able to get these women to sign these blank sheets of paper. And in some cases, it was unclear, but it sounded like he even got women to write letters ahead of time by saying like, oh, we're going to be traveling through Europe and we're only going to have like a day in Rome. You're not going to have time to write. Why don't you write a letter about spending a day in Rome now?
Wow.
And they would do it.
That's nuts.
yeah, but also, if they were real slaves, then they would do whatever he said.
Yeah, I was about to say, it could be part of that BDSM shit.
That's true. Well, speaking of the BDSM thing, when the police started looking into Robinson and found out that he was part of this whole BDSM community, they had to actually do research to find out what it was. They had no idea what they were doing. All right, so it wasn't like now, like with Wikipedia or its secret dirty cousin, Lickopedia. You can find out everything, right? Like even serial killers like John Edward Robinson, they had to read books. They had to buy their alternative lifestyle magazines.
Whoa.
And I know. And for all you Gen Zers out there, please go to your safe place before I say this last part. All right, everyone's good? They would actually have to go and talk to people. People they didn't know.
There's no way that would be happening today.
Yeah,
No way.
I don't think the people that were in it had to do that because I think they found each other because they liked what they liked.
No. No, I'm saying like the police.
He's saying the police had to go and do that.
Yeah, it wasn't like they could just like search the web for all their information on something like this now. They had to actually go into those communities and talk to those people.
Yeah, because if they tried to search it on the internet, number one, they would have had to go to Yahoo, which was a directory because Google wasn't a thing yet. Number two, they get some
Prodigy.
Angel Fire site called Nikki's Ass Blasters or some shit like that.
God.
They would have some kind of glossary on a starry field background.
Mm-hmm.
With the stars moving occasionally.
Exactly. They twinkle.
Twinkling.
It was all a
thanks.
gift.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey there, it's Acadia here, and my partner, Hannah Selector, is going to tell us a little bit about the show we do together.
Do you like horror movies? Stephen King? Ranting and raving? Join us for a meeting of the Castle Rock Historical Society. Tuesdays, wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right. So this is when stuff starts to go downhill for our doughy little sociopath.
Aww.
Now, Brenda Sheehan went to work in Kansas City for a man named James Turner. Apparently, part of her job was being a BDSM slave.
What the?
Oh, surprise.
Again, but one day, now this is during the day. This is another interesting thing about Robinson. He's also known as a 9-to-5 killer.
Oh.
That means that they kill during the day and then they're home with their families at night. So it's like their job is the killing, and then that's why nobody
like
suspects
BTK.
anything because you're home. Right, they're home every night.
That makes sense to me.
Same idea. Yeah,
because that way he could do all. That's why he had to scam everybody, because he couldn't have an actual job where he had to be in the office because he had to be off mastering women and killing people and making up elaborate fucking Rube Goldberg scams that he was the beneficiary of. And he crammed that all into the workday. Yeah. I bet he brought his lunch.
Oh, he definitely brought his lunch.
Meatloaf.
In a pail.
Yeah.
In a pail. Well, the problem with his encounter with Brenda is that he got a little too rough for Brenda's liking, and she left.
Wait. So James Turner wasn't a different guy? It was Robinson?
Well, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, now I don't know how he got into the story.
Well,
he's an alias.
Hold on a second. So Brenda goes to the front desk and she says, whose room had she been in? They tell her it's James Robbins' room. Who the fuck is James Robbins?
Isn't he the guy with the big teeth?
It would turn out
that guy, the self-help guy.
Oh my God.
Isn't that his name?
Tim Robbins? Tim Robbins is the actor.
Tim Robbins.
That's the actor. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
I mean, I do, but I don't know his name.
I can't think of his name.
All right,
but it's hilarious that you linked these two together.
Was it Henry Rollins?
Oh my God.
It would actually turn out that Robinson had about 15 aliases that he used.
Oh God.
And Brenda goes to the police and files a complaint on James Turner. The police end up finding out that James Turner is also John Robinson.
Oh, God.
And because of this incident, they start following him. So
I have a question.
Sure.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything we're talking about.
Good, because I have no more information than what I'm going to say.
Well, so I had to fill out that background check thing, right? And it kept every single time it kept asking me if I had any aliases. And I kept saying no. But technically, do I?
Yes, you do. You're Acadia.
I'm not. It's not. But you don't.
That's not a legal alias.
You're not right. You don't legally use Acadia Einstein for anything.
Yeah. It's not like I'm out there renting cars and
it's not like
buying
credit cards with Acadia Einstein on them.
Yeah. All right. Whew.
That's when you would have to say that.
Yeah, it's like when I fill out applications for things, I have to put down like my full maiden name,
right,
and then
I have
my married
to put down
name.
my name,
right.
Gotcha.
My previous name.
All right, I feel better.
Yeah, that's the only time you have to do it. It's not. Yeah, it's not like because you're
Acadia
doing anything legally as that person.
Okay, this is a show about murder. Everybody, now, sorry to get us off the track there. So back we go to Henry Rollins.
Any number of subjects. All right.
Yeah, we're a rich tapestry.
So the police have started following Robinson around. So they are there while watching as he meets up with a whole bunch of women. Some cases, they try to get the adjoining room in the motel and listen through the wall. So I understand that he's doing all this BDSM shit. So the cops are like, when do we jump in? Like, what if he actually hurts or kills somebody while we're listening? Like,
yeah,
how
they
do
don't
you
know
tell
the safe word. They don't know the safe word.
You know the difference?
Also, are they listening through the walls with the little cups that they provide you in those hotel rooms for you to get ice with?
Well, you have to unwrap it first.
I know. Oh, then you're giving yourself away. Okay, here. You get on that side, I'll get on this side.
So when the police discovered that he was working on luring a woman to his farm, they stepped in because they were like, she's the next one, I guess.
My hand is raised.
Yes, Acadia. I see your hand raised.
Where'd the farm come from?
That's where he lives.
He lived on a farm?
Do you
and he went into the big city every day?
Do you not remember his story?
I don't know. Is Kansas City the big city? I don't know.
I mean, it says city right in the name.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
There's two Kansas cities anyway.
Like probably 10 minutes outside the city.
All I'm going to say is that this place Kansas City has barbecue because there's a kind of barbecue that's named after it.
Yes.
And it has
barbecue.
Enough water to have boating adventures and farms and a man of the year.
I mean, we're really.
I can't imagine the boating adventure was on a body of water near Kansas City.
But listen, no, there's two. I looked it up. I literally did look it up. There's the Kansas River and the Missouri River.
Right, because it's in two places.
Yeah, so they could have been boating all over the place.
And then those hit the Mississippi.
Yep. So they could have been in Louisiana by the time the cops will never find them.
They're in the Gulf and the Atlantic and the world.
Yep. And they're in Mexico.
Yep.
And they left from Kansas City.
They left from Kansas City, the big city.
All right. So on June 2nd, the police show up at Robinson's house, which I guess was on the farm. And Robinson was very cordial. And even when they told him that he was under arrest for battery and for stealing like $500 worth of sex toys.
Stop it.
He did. Isn't that great?
I bet one of them was a metal butt plug thing.
You think so?
You know it was.
Yes, because I bet that he made her put it in her butt and walk around all day and leave it in there.
Oh,
not one of those ones with like the jewels on the end.
It could be. You don't know.
All right. What if you have to poop? You got to pull that thing out and then you got to put it back in.
You can't. You hold it.
Literally plugged.
That is awful. I have irritable bowel syndrome. That would never work for me.
That's going to be very irritable.
I would never
irritate the crap out of it.
Wow. Now I know I'm never getting into BDSM. So that was here. I just did an air check mark. Like, check that. Don't ever have to do that.
Well, I didn't really peg you as the one that would sign up to be the slave anywaes. You'd be like,
did you use pegged as a little play on words?
Ow. That's it. All right. So the police have just picked him up for battery and stealing some sex toys. And when they get him to the police station, they see an opportunity to take a shot at him and see how he responds. And kind of out of nowhere, while they're talking about the assault, they ask him about the missing women using their names. Like, remember, they have nothing to do with why he was arrested. So he just goes pale and he knows he's fucked.
Ugh.
So at this point, everything starts to fall around him. The police search a number of storage units that he was renting, because what kind of serial killer doesn't have storage units?
Well, that's also what his office was, I assume.
That's right.
That too. The Equa 2, but I think Equa Plus might have been
Jesus.
in a pod.
No, it was that way he could move it where the business was.
Yeah.
Exactly. He got like a final wrapping with Equa 2 on it. So the police search the storage units and they find a lot of stuff belonging to women who are missing, but they don't find any bodies. But while they were searching the property, they did find 2 barrels. Like big oil drums.
Yeah.
They went to move one. Well, they went to kind of like look at it, like, holding it, like kind of shake, and they saw blood. So,
no.
Yeah. So, in searching those barrels, they found Suzette's body.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Suzette was one of the victims in the barrel.
Right.
And the other barrel was someone who wasn't even one of the missing women that we know about. It turns out that this is Isabella Lewicka. She was a 21-year-old Polish immigrant who had never even been reported missing. Robinson, did such a smooth job at covering his tracks with letters being sent to her family from Europe. And, of course, the emails, now that we're in the 90s, or we're in the 2000s. Her family just thought she was traveling. It turned out that both ladies had died from blunt force trauma, or BFT, with a hammer.
Oh, Jesus.
And there were no defensive wounds. So what does no defensive wounds tell us, Acadia?
It means that they got snuck up on. They didn't know that it was coming. So they were either sleeping or like he did the whole thing where you tap them on one shoulder and they look and then you bash them in the head with a fucking hammer
That's
on the right head. I don't know.
That's terrible.
Or it could have been when they were restrained, during sex play or anything like that. Like the fact is that there had to have been a sexual component to the killing part.
Yeah.
Because if he was just getting off on the sex by itself, then he would never have to kill him, and he would have just kept running his scams and everything like that. But the everything gets stale over time. So I mean, that had to have been how he was getting himself off, by the killing part. So that would mean that he is a process killer, because the point of it was the killing, not like making fucking chandeliers out of the bones and stuff like that, which would make him a product killer.
Right. He wasn't Egg Heat.
Mr. Serial Killer over here.
I don't know. It's for work.
You dabble?
No, I mean, I have to know about this stuff because
Our very own Dexter.
That's why you asked me.
Oh, by the way, Dexter's coming back.
I know. I can't wait.
Anyway. They should have just left it with John Lithgow's season.
Yeah, I agree with that, but Rito.
All right. Get back on this. So 3 more barrels are found in Missouri. And in them, 3 more bodies. That almost makes sense, right? We have Lisa Stasi, Catherine Clampett, and Paula Godfrey.
Right.
But it's none of them.
What?
Yeah. It's Beverly Bonner, Sheila Faith, and Sheila's disabled daughter, Debbie.
Oh, this guy. Oh, my God.
All, again, blunt force trauma to the head.
But,
so, What?
Why does this guy have such elaborate land holdings that he's got he's got fucking spots to put all these barrels?
Yeah, I don't know what the land in Missouri was. I apologize for not doing further research on his holdings.
I could have,
but I don't know what property it was in Missouri where they found.
Straight up, Mells.
What?
How many barrels could you hide on your property without your husband knowing?
0.
I
mean, honestly, 0.
I'm between 0 and 1.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't go out behind the pool house because there's nothing out there. Okay. But she might be surveying our land someday and see it by accident. Shooey, I know yours is 0.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't fake it as it's something else. Like, oh, I'm trying composting.
Oh, it's slurry.
Oh, God.
That's so gross.
Don't tip that over.
Yeah, don't look in there. That's my slurry. It's still fermenting or whatever.
Oh.
I saw it on Reddit. I could just say I saw it on Reddit and get away with it for probably like a month.
So I want to know where these women came from, right? Like, there's no open cases anywhere. There's no missing person cases or anything else, right?
So they can't solve the cases they have, and they keep getting other cases that they didn't have,
Right.
that are solved.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. But they do figure it out.
All right.
So first, there's Beverly Bonner. So Robinson seduced Bonner when he was in prison.
What?
That's right. I forgot to mention Robinson did serve 6 years in prison between 1987 and 1993 for fraud and then various parole violations, splitting the time between prisons in Kansas and Missouri.
That's important information.
Sorry, it ended up in there.
But he stayed married the whole time?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't know. I do. I'm asking the heir.
Because he was married for 38 years. He got married in 64. So that means 2002, which happens to be the year of his trial. So I'm assuming that's the year his wife divorced him.
So he said, honey, listen, I did all these scams and I have to go to jail, but stay with me.
Yes.
And live off the money that I made from all these scams that I'm going to jail for?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Is she the dumbest woman that ever lived?
No.
Well, maybe he was buying her nice stuff. Like, who knows?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not. I doubt like hell that she was the dumbest person that ever lived, and I doubt like hell that she was looking the other way. I think he was just that compartmentalized. You know what I mean? That You know, when they ask people, they go, oh, there's no way that they could do that, never in a million years, and whatever. Yeah. Because all she ever saw, I mean, he was home by fucking 5:30 every night.
Right.
Who's got the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Working 9 to 5.
Exactly. What a way to make a living.
Oh, Katie, you beat me to that.
Well, gotta be quick.
Right.
Putting ladies into barrels.
Hey. Barely keeping by.
While I'm singing Christmas carols. Yeah, this is degenerated. All right. Bring us some horrible facts.
So Bev Bonner was the prison librarian. And when Robinson got out, Bev actually quit her job, left her husband, and shacked up with Robinson.
Man, fuck this job.
So in their conversating, he finds out that she's getting $1,000 a month alimony check. And I think he thought, I'd like $1,000 a month alimony check. So
who wouldn't?
So he kills her and continues to cash the checks. So
how does that work?
It goes. This didn't happen in 2000. This happened previously. Okay, we're learning about.
So what? He just went to the bank and went.
I guess he just. Well, I guess if you just deposit it, and then you have like a card that can access that account, then what's it? And
God damn this guy! That's how he had all these elaborate holdings because he had money from everywhere.
Right. So when her family was notified in 2000. That she is dead. This is years after she disappeared. They were shocked because they were still getting what?
Let me guess. Letters. Typed letters.
Typed letters. And like all the other families involved, they kind of sort of sensed something wasn't quite right, but couldn't quite put a finger on it.
Also, how much of a piece of shit was Bev Bonner's husband where she went, hey, you know what? I'm quitting my job. I'm leaving you, you piece of shit. And I'm going to go fuck this other guy. And you have to pay me $1,000 a month. Like, what did he have going for him? Like, it is different. Like, you cheated on me and you're leaving me. Why do I have to pay? And the judge is like, fuck you. Like,
but men just get the shitty end of the stick all the time, don't they?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, another thing I wanted to bring up too is we're talking about the freaking 90s here, right? And nobody ever seems to pick up a phone to call their loved ones.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wasn't that a thing? Like, I called people all the time back then.
Yeah.
I went to Brazil 3 times during the 90s, and I did not tell my mother I was going any of those times.
So you're a monster of a son.
No,
Yeah.
it's because
Point.
I'm a fucking sweetheart because I didn't want her to fucking worry that I was going to get kidnapped or whatever. Because I'm sure that she would have fucking watched hard copy and seen something about a
That you're going to crash on the
kidnapping in
Andes and
Brazil.
start eating each other or something.
Or I get fucking shot in a drive-by or some shit like that. Anyways, I spent most of the 90s avoiding conversations with my mother.
I spend most of now doing that. So with Beverly gone, Robinson didn't have love, I guess, except for his wife and family, but whatever.
He didn't have daytime love.
He didn't have 9 to 5 love. So he starts scouting for a new gal or victim, and he comes across Sheila Faith. Sheila's a woman collecting disability for her disabled daughter, Debbie. They meet again in a chat room. One little funny aside. In one of the many documentaries I watched while researching this, they referred to it as an online chat room. Like, what other kind is there? Like, anything else is just a room, right? Like,
No,
if you're chatting in it.
A bar.
Right, but that's not called a chat room. That's called a bar.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. Well, sorry about this, but back to the story. So he immediately kills Sheila and Debbie. Sorry. Didn't mean to make that sound so blunt, but again, blunt force trauma. So he continues to collect their disability checks for 6 years after killing them. Like, I thought they checked up on people with disability. Like,
no, they don't fucking do anything.
No.
The system is so fucking overworked that they don't have time to do any of that shit. Like, so here's a good example of how the government, and I got no beef with the government in general, but like the PPP loans.
Yeah.
So first they were like, all right, well, you have to show all this paperwork if you want the loan to be forgiven. And then they were like, if we gave you $50,000 or less, then just fill out this other form and the loan will get forgiven regardless of what you spent it for. And all the experts are saying, just wait a minute, because pretty soon they're pretty sure that the government's going to go, you don't have to send us anything. If we gave you $50,000 or less, just keep it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But the $50,000 or less loans are like a eensy-weensy little percentage of what was given out, because most of it was millions.
Most of it went to big companies.
Yeah.
Fucking Kanye took $1.5 million, and so did fucking Khloe Kardashian.
So
pieces of shit.
That's our sweet AdWords money.
So in 2002, the trial was held for the murders of Lisa Stasi, Isabella Luica, and Suzette Troughton. Robinson gets life for Lisa's murder and the death penalty for both Isabella and Suzette. Why the difference? I don't know. I don't know why Lisa's was only worth life. But Kansas, while they did convict him of the death penalty, Kansas hadn't actually killed anyone since they reinstated the death penalty in the 90s, early 90s. But Missouri, on the other hand, was just a touch more aggressive. Between 1989, when capital punishment became the law in Missouri, I'm assuming again, and 2002, the year of this case, Missouri had executed 59 people.
Wow.
So,
yikes.
Yeah. So not wanting to be killed, Robinson jumped and made a deal with Missouri in exchange for just life. He pled guilty to the murders of Beverly Bonner, Sheila and Debbie Faith, Paula Godfrey, and Catherine Clampett. Stasi, Godfrey, and Clampett's bodies have never been found.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, do you think there are other victims out there?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I believe there are.
100%.
Yeah. They didn't say if, like, that... Like, they didn't say if, like, those IDs they found were for other missing people that are still missing. Like, they didn't get that specific on anything.
Like, I'm sure that since the deal wasn't tell us where the bodies are and we won't give you the death penalty.
Right.
Since they didn't make that kind of deal, he never copped to those or pointed out where they were. So technically, you could say you can't prove that it's murder because there's no body.
Right.
And I bet he didn't come up with barrel on his first fucking try. You know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't just happen to go, all right, slave, now I'm going to fuck you in this barrel. So you just stay, you just get in it. And
you just get in there.
Yeah. I'm sure that he dumped some in some other places.
Yeah, that's
like while he was practicing.
He won't cop to the other ones because that'll show dumping grounds where they'll find a whole bunch more.
Yep.
Which is why we don't know where those other 3 ladies are.
That sucks.
Well, okay, now my hand is raised and I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, like, whatever happened to baby Tiffany?
You know, that's a really good question, Mells. And thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because we are not at the end of our story. Now, remember how Robinson created that phony outreach program to lure in pregnant women or women with babies so he could sell the babies?
Uh-oh.
Well, the police...
Got an inconvenient baby? Come see me.
Inconvenient baby. Baby spitting up too much? Bring him down here.
Got a little more than you can handle? Come on down.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the police get a tip that Robinson actually helped his brother adopt a baby girl, Heather, in 1985 for around $5,000.
Wow.
It turned out that he had actually begun working with his brother and sister-in-law to get a kid a couple years earlier. And what he would like to do is tell his brother-in-law that they were about to get a kid and then just be like, oh, sorry, this one fell through. Like, he really did just love fucking with people.
What an ass.
Yeah. So the police go and visit the Bob Robinson family. And Mrs. Robinson hands the detective a photo of Heather as a baby. And they immediately know that Heather is Tiffany Stassi.
Oh.
So he sold his own brother one of his murder victim's kids. And I thought I had a fucked up family. Like, sure, I have a brother who believes in all that QAnon shit, but I don't think he's actually killed anybody. Yes. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. Words better left unsaid.
You see, Robinson had taken Lisa specifically to get Tiffany. So the FBI used her baby footprint and matched it to Heather's footprint. Heather/Tiffany goes by Heather. It actually stayed with the Robinsons. They never knew anything about what John was doing or how he got her. They had thought everything was legitimate. And John even refuses to tell Heather where her mom's body is, probably for the reasons, we talked about earlier, because it might give away a burial site or something like that. And he probably enjoys that it's just another way he can fucking, torture somebody.
Exactly. What an asshole.
Dick.
I heard a different story about the daughter.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking at it because you were looking at it and it was interesting. And I heard that she was watching a show about her uncle.
Right.
And she saw a picture of herself as a baby and went, why am I on this show?
Oh, see, I didn't get that. I got that she had seen the thing about the uncle.
But my thing doesn't make sense because how the fuck would you know what you look like as a baby?
Pictures.
Unless they use the actual same baby picture.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's the only thing it could be, I guess, right?
I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry I missed that bit of detail, but
No, it was on a documentary that I watched. I'm Bill Curtis.
He's stupid.
okay.
Well, he was the narrator.
Right.
All right. Well, that does it for Mr. Robinson.
He is the hardest working serial killer in show business.
Well, have you ever seen that show on, I don't know which channel it's on, like ID or one of those shows that just shows murder shows? The guy.
Did you say ID instead of ID?
Yeah. The guy who rates murderers on a scale to 22. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I've heard of that guy.
22 of the worst.
Yep.
He gave Robinson a 22.
Yep. That makes sense.
That's
that makes
crazy.
sense.
Specifically because of how he likes to emotionally fuck with people.
Right.
But he also made so much money.
If you can open an Equi 2 and an Equi Plus office, you must be rolling in it.
And if somebody asked you what you did and your answer was just business, like, I believed him and gave you money.
But there was a guy that I knew from my daughter's. It was like one of her friend's parents, and the wife had a lot of money, and the husband was literally owned a different business every 6 months. Like, oh, I do shipping. Oh, I'm an importer. Oh, I work at a dealership. Oh, I do that. Like, he literally had a different career like every 6 months because her family had enough money that he didn't have to actually earn anything.
Huh.
And he could go. So he was like a, kill less version of this. Just bouncing around like doing his thing.
Or he was an even better killer than Robinson. Ooh. And he hasn't been caught.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're going to do an episode about QAnon now.
Oh, yes.
Now that I have expert commentary.
Let's hope that after November 3rd, I never have to fucking hear the word QAnon again.
Oh.
So that ain't happening. I'll tell you that right now.
Who's going to be around to say it? Who's going to be around to say it? Mitch?
We're not doing the QAnon episode now, but we're definitely doing it now, even if it's a counterpoint of you and me on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Strangeful.
And
look at, I did my plug early.
Yeah, he did his plug early, so now we don't have to hear him again till the end. So if you want to reach out to us, you can reach me at Shooey Time on Twitter and Instagram. You can get Acadia on Twitter at Acadia Einstein on Instagram, and he is Senator Acadia on Twitch. Mells is MellsBells84 on Twitter, Superficial Mells on Instagram. You can also reach out to the show at Strangeful Pod on Twitter or at Strangeful Things on Instagram.
And you can catch Mells stepping out on us at Damn Fine TV podcast.
Yes, we're covering The Haunting of Bly Manor, so we're very excited about that.
Dirty Stay Out.
Well, if you'd also like to rate and review us, you can do that on any of the podcast platforms that you listen to. And we just say, hey, make it nice,
Yep. And if it's going to be really shitty, then put it on YouTube.
Right.
Do something like that. But we're all very delicate, so please be gentle.
Nah. Once I dealt with the Russian guy that said that I destroyed his family, then now I have a thicker skin. So
That's
you can
wonderful.
Well, I think I dealt with it quite nicely.
You did. You really did.
You're a hero.
Aw.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
You could sing that whole song, but take out every time they say hero, say master.
No. All right, everybody. Count your blessings.
Keep on flapping.
Bye-bye.